blessed morning to everyone. So today I will explain the lesson 6, The Philippines under Spain. Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, book by Antonio de Morga. Here's the glossary of Spanish terms and phrases Morga might have used in his book. So in another term, Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas is a historical account that talks about what happened in the Philippines from 1493 to 1603 during the time Spain ruled the country. Dr. Antonio de Morga, the main writer of this book, published it in 1609. His work is considered one of the best records of Spanish colonizations in the Philippines. It's based on documents, things he observed himself, and his personal experiences and knowledge of the events. Chapter 1. The first chapter of Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas by Antonio de Morga talks about several important islands in Asia, including the Maluco, Celebes, Tendaya, Luzon, Mindanao, and Borneo, which were later called the Philippines. It mentions the explorer Ferdinand Magellan, who was defeated in the Philippines, but later another explorer named Miguel Lopez de Legazpi successfully took control of the islands, starting from Cebu and expanding to Luzon. This chapter also highlights how a priest, Andres de Urdaneta, helped spread Catholicism in Cebu and Luzon as part of his missionary work. In 1564, Miguel Lopez de Legazpi and Fray Andres de Urdaneta left a place called Puerto de la Natividad, heading towards the islands of Cebu and Luzon. When they arrived in Cebu, Chief Tupas and his people tried to fight against Legazpi and his soldiers. After the fighting, the first Spanish settlement was established in Cebu, called Ciudad de Santísimo Nombre. Legazpi then named all the islands Filipinas to honor King Philip II of Spain. In 1571, Martin de Goiti took control of the area around Manila, including the territories ruled by Raja Mora and Raja Matanda in Tondo. By 1574, after 10 years of bringing the islands under Spanish control, Miguel Lopez de Legazpi died and his body was buried in the monastery of St. Augustine. After Legazpi's death, Guido de la Baseris took over the leadership and continued the efforts to convert and pacify the islands. Later, in 1574, a Chinese pirate named Limahong attacked Manila and killed Martin de Goiti. Juan de Salcedo, a captain from Bigan, came to Manila with reinforcements to help. Chapter 2. The governor and captain of the Philippines continued to bring more islands under Spanish control. Captain Pedro Chaves. Captain Pedro Chavez took control of the province of Camarines, and Captain Esteban Rodriguez de Figueroa took control of the island Jolo. A ship called San Juanilo, led by Captain Juan de Rivera, was lost at sea. Later, Don Gonzalo Ronquillo de Peñalosa replaced Dr. Sande as the new governor and captain general of the island. Chapter 3. In 1580, Don Gonzalo Ronquillo de Peñalosa from Arevalo and the chief official in Mexico was appointed as the governor of the Philippines for life. At the same time, Fray Domingo de Salazar from the Dominican Order became the first bishop of the Philippines and built his cathedral in Manila. The first religious order in the Philippines was established by Fathers Antonio Sedeno and Alonso Sanchez. In 1583, Don Gonzalo Ronquillo de Peñalosa passed away due to health issues, and he was buried in the monastery of St. Augustine in Manila. In 1583, after Don Gonzalo Ronquillo died, His relative Diego Ronquillo became the new governor and continued bringing more islands under Spanish control. The same year, a big fire started at midday in the church of the convent of St. Augustine in Manila. It caused a lot of damage, destroying goods and property, and putting some people's lives in danger. Rebuilding the city was very difficult, and it felt the Spaniards living there poor and in need. The Spanish government also ordered the creation of a royal court called the Audiencia in Manila. Dr. Santiago de Vera, a judge from Mexico, was made president of the Audiencia, and Don Antonio de Rivera became the third judge. Chapter 4. In May 1584, the president and auditors of the the Audiencia, the royal court, arrived in the Philippines with Diego Ronquillo still serving as the governor. The president of the Audiencia, Santiago de Vera, found out about a planned rebellion among the native chiefs in Manila and Pampanga. A fortress called Nuestra Señora de Guia, also known as Baluarte de Santiago, was built on the land side of the city of Manila for defense. In 1589, Viceroy Don Luis de Velasco sailed to New Spain, Mexico. In May 1590, in May 1590, Gomez Perez Dasmariñas, a nobleman from Spain and Knight of the Order of Santiago, was appointed as the new governor and Captain General of the Philippines. Chapter 5. In 1590, Governor General Gomez Perez Dasmariñas focused on several important tasks. He made sure the Audiencia means royal court, in Manila followed orders, established a paid army, and began building walls around the city for protection. He also built a tall defensive structure, Cavalier, increased trade with China, and worked to bring peace to areas like Zambales and the Pintados province. Additionally, he had artillery built in Manila. Uh, During his time as governor, the city walls and other defenses were built, galleys, ships, where contracted trade was better regulated. Peace was restored in several areas. Manila was rebuilt, and he even started talks with Japan. All these improvements were his ideas and actions. Tensions between the Japanese and the Spaniards in the Philippines began to rise. The Japanese leader, Taiko Sama, demanded that the Spanish submit to him and pay tribute. He even threatened Governor General Gomez Perez Dasmariñas. In 1593, Governor Dasmariñas planned to bring peace to the province of the Pintados, but during the journey, he was tragically killed by Chinese rowers who wanted to steal valuable items like money and jewels. Before his death, Governor Dasmariñas had sent a fleet led by his son, Luis Perez Dasmariñas, to the Pintados. After the governor's death, Pedro de Rojas was temporarily chosen as governor for 40 days. Later in 1593, Luis Perez Dasmariñas officially took over as governor, following his appointment. In 1595, Antonio de Morga became the lieutenant to the governor, filling the role of lieutenant assessor. During the administration of Luis Perez Dasmariñas, Spain started becoming involved with Cambodia. An expedition was sent under Juan Suarez Galinato, Blas Ruiz de Hernan Gonzalez, and Diego Veloso. During this expedition, the Cambodian king Anakapara, who had taken power by force, was killed, causing chaos in the country. Blas Ruiz and Veloso then went to the kingdom of Lao to find the rightful king of Cambodia. Phone car, but they discovered that he had already died. Galinato also managed to retrieve valuable items from the Chinese and brought them back to Manila. Esteban Rodriguez de Figueroa agreed to lead a mission to take control of Mindanao, but when he arrived, he was ambushed and killed. Chapter 6. In 1596, Francisco Tello became the new Governor-General of the Philippines, and around the same time, Fray Ignacio de Santibanez was appointed as the Archbishop. That year, Juan Ronquillo was sent to Mindanao, specifically La Caldera, where he won a battle against the combined forces of the people from Mindanao and Ternate. When Galinato returned from Cochin, China, he was accused of not fully taking advantage of the victory in Cambodia. In Cagayan, a rebellion was discovered and the plot was investigated. The leader of the rebellion was killed by his own people, who were persuaded by a reward. In 1596, an expedition led by Alvaro de Mandana de Meira, aiming to find the Solomon Islands, reached the Philippines. In 1597, the ship San Jeronimo, hailing to New Spain, Mexico, had to stop in Japan due to severe storm. The passengers were allowed to return to Manila, but 6 Franciscan missionaries, 3 Jesuits, and 17 local helpers were crucified in Japan. This was ordered by Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Before their deaths, the missionaries wrote a farewell letter to Dr. Morga, warning him that Japan was planning to attack the Philippines. In 1597, Luis Navarrete Fajardo was sent to Japan to demand compensation for the missionaries who were killed. Japanese people living in Manila were also sent back to Japan. That same year, thanks to Father Alonso Ximenes, efforts to improve the situation in Cambodia were restarted. Juan Pancho and his 20 men were killed during a mission in Jolo. In 1598, an archbishops arrived, and the Manila Audiencia was reestablished by royal order. Luis Perez Dasmariñas received permission to lead an expedition to help the king of Cambodia and to try to take over the kingdom of Champa, which was a threat to ships in the region. In 1598, an upper port called El Pinal was made available to the Spanish, thanks to Juan de Zamudio. That same year, Luis Perez Dasmariñas sent Hernando de los Rios Coronel to China to negotiate in Canton. In 1599, the people of Jolo and Mindanao, encouraged by the Spanish and abandoning and destroying the fort of La Caldera, attacked the Spaniards and local natives. They took many valuables and captives. In 1600, the alcalde mayor, local official, of Arevalo defeated a large group that had been sent to attack the Spaniards and local Impintados. In 1600, Jeronimo de Jesus, a Franciscan who survived being crucified, negotiated with Daifu Sama, the new Japanese leader. In October 1600, news reached Manila about Oliver Van Noort and his 2 ships, which were coming and causing trouble. The ships Santa Margarita and San Jeronimo failed to reach New Spain, Mexico, The Santa Margarita was damaged by locals in the Lardones Islands, and the San Jeronimo was wrecked near Catanduanes. 1602, under Galinato's command, the cargo from the ship San Felipe was taken to Mindanao and Jolo before being sent to Manila for further instructions. Also in 1602, Juan de Mendoza and Fray, who had been trading in Cambodia, went to Siam, Thailand. Their trade was not successful, so they left without informing the Siamese king and were killed on their way. Chapter 7, from 1602 to 1603. The chapter talks about the time when Governor Lang de Acuña was in charge. Having arrived in Manila in May 1602, his main focus was on local matters and building new ships called galleys. He also worked on sending ships to New Spain, Mexico, opening trade with China, sending workers to Japan, and sending religious groups to Japan. In 1602, Acuña in 1602, Acuña had to delay his visit to the Pintados because of raids by the Moros from Luzon to Mindoro. In 1603, instead of going on an expedition to the Maluku Islands himself, Acuña sent Carinati to help the Portuguese. Also in 1603, Manila suffered a major fire for the second time, which caused a loss of over 1 million pesos. In 1603, the Malays in Cambodia were finally driven out by a group of loyal local officials. Relationship between Cambodia and the Philippines were re-established by sending religious missionaries there. In May 1603, Galinatos returned to Manila. His help to Furtado de Mendoza was not enough to fully defeat the Ternatines. Mendoza was not enough to fully defeat the Ternatines. Who's the author? Antonio de Morga was a Spanish lawyer, historian, and high-ranking colonial official who served in the Philippines during the late 16th and early 17th centuries. His experience as a government official gave him a unique perspective on the early years of Spanish rule in the islands. He was deeply involved in the administrations of the colony and had first-hand knowledge of the events he described. Morga's education and background in law helped him document the history of the Philippines with a meticulous approach, aiming to create a comprehensive record of Spanish activities in the region. His position allowed him to interact closely with both Spanish officials and local Filipinos, which informed his writing with a broad understanding of the socio-political landscape of the time. We had the new editions and translations of Antonio de Morga's Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, 1609. 1888, August 18. After 279 years, Jose Rizal began to copy by hand the entire first edition of Morga's Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas. 1888, December 11. Rizal went in Madrid and Barcelona to search the historical materials in Bibliotheque National Library. In 1889, by the end of September, he brought the manuscript in Paris for printing and sent letter to Ferdinand Blumentritt requesting him to write an introduction. So, in January 1890, Rizal published his annotations. Events in the Philippine Islands by Dr. Antonio de Morga, a work published in Mexico in the year 1609, reprinted and annotated by Jose Rizal and preced- preceded preceded by an introduction by Professor Ferdinand Blumentritt, Ocampo, 1998. The study, conducted by Tina S. Clemente, 2011, she classified Rizal's annotation of Morga's successes de las Islas Filipinas into four categories such as the notion of confederation of chiefs and the complexity of policies, the character of pre-colonial law and enforcement, the engagement of pre-Hispanic polities in international trade, and the role of indigenous produced goods in the dynamics of chiefly ruleship and foreign trade. So we have the Oriental Islands, Philippines. The final section provides a broader overview of the Philippine Islands, including their geography, natural resources, and their customs and culture of their inhabitants. Morga offers detailed descriptions of the local society and economy, providing valuable ethnographic information about the Philippines during the early colonial period. Topography and seasons of the Oriental Islands. The Oriental people, the natives of the southern part islands of Visayas are known them as the tattooed people. They are good-looking, good dispositions, living in the better conditions, and having nobler manners than those in the islands of Luzon and surrounding one. Natives from this place wear large earrings of gold and ivory and bracelet. The annotations of Rizal Hay corrected Morga, describing that men and women go out without any outer garments and barefooted. He clarified that natives in all places are circumspect and careful in moving their bodies with extreme modesty and bashfulness. The Oriental people, men and women, particularly the prominent people, are very clean and neat in their person. They dye their hair and they use cocoa as their shampoo. They bathe their entire bodies in the river or stream. Rizal clarified the use of cocoa and rather mentioned that the bark of shrub is crushed and not cooked. Similar, he mentioned about bathing of some women during menstruation and bathing after the funeral. So you can see the Oriental people. So, abundances of natural resources, variations of language and dialects among the Oriental people, customs and other practices of the Oriental people, conclusions, and the quotes from Sir Ambet R. Ocampo. As you can see, there are quite a number of things taught in school that one has to unlearn or at least correct.